I'm going to say offense and defensive line.
Yeah.
I watching the game live last week. Bright went up the seam and he was wide open, and Myers overthrew him. And I just thought that was a terrible pass. I cannot believe he missed him. We've seen that quite a bit. Well, if you go back and watch it,
Yeah, he
the
got
offensive
killed.
line is, they're not. I mean, if he's not throwing on time or whatever, and I'm not here defending anybody. I mean, I think his play can be better. I think everybody else, I agree with everybody else. His play can be better. But if the guys in front of him aren't doing their job,
Right.
you know, it's not going to, the whole play is going to look like a disaster, and then it gets put in the guy's hands. And if he makes a bad play, it's on him. You know what I mean? So the offensive line's got to get their crap together. I mean, I don't know. There's enough returning talent on that offensive line that they shouldn't be having the problems that they're having. Defensive line, they got to freaking man up. They got to freaking step up and go nose to nose with these guys, because we've seen Wyoming's offensive line, and when we went there 2 years ago, a lot of those guys are back because they were freshmen and sophomore then. So they're nasty dudes. They're big, physical, nasty dudes, and they get after you. And we just got manhandled on both sides of the ball last week, And if they let it happen 2 weeks in a row, then, hopefully they take some pride and they come out with a little fire. And, if they can put a first, like a total game, like they played the first half at Colorado State, I think they'll go in there and win. But they got to play the whole game that way. you know.
Right.
That was they looked like a good football team in the first half of the Colorado State game. They really did. But they couldn't sustain it for whatever reason. And they got to figure out how they're going to sustain it. So offense and defensive line, calling them out. We got to get it
Well, and
done.
it's interesting that you mentioned the young guys playing the last couple of years and everything. And Wyoming's really taken a long term approach. They haven't, they've gotten a few JC guys and that kind of thing, but they've really stuck to their plan and they've played young guys. They've gotten experience and they've built the program, and now they're playing a lot better. Obviously, they're getting those guys more experience, and now they're experienced enough to contribute even more. And honestly, I mean that's part of that decline that I've been talking about. I think if Utah State, whether it's coaching hires, whether it's players, and this is where I become brutally honest. They haven't always taken the long term approach. They haven't always taken the long term, the best thing long term. They've taken the best thing short term, and all you have to look at is some push forward guys, some JC guys, some chances on guys, different things like that. Some coaches obviously staying a year or two and then leaving. That's not by accident, and obviously some of those guys have been great hires. Some of those guys have been guys that I don't expect you to not take, not hire and that kind of thing. And I think one of the best things that Coach Wells has done is he has been able to hire some good coaches, but it's just that long term approach, so I don't know if that means, I don't know what that means as far as what's going to happen the rest of the year. I don't know what that's going to mean for next year. I don't know what to expect at this point. I almost keep expecting the same thing. I mean, that San Diego State game did not go any different than I expected, to be honest. I mean, based on what Utah State's done so far this year, what did they show us that they would play differently than exactly what happened on Saturday? Have they shown us anything different?
No, I mean, I just, with it being at home, I just didn't expect the score and how they ran the ball. I mean, when a team throws for 11 yards,
Yeah.
but then they rush for 400 and some. I mean, it didn't matter who touched the ball. It didn't matter which running back had the ball that night.
Yeah, the all three
it didn't
running
matter.
backs had long runs. All three running backs looked like Barry Sanders, Walter Payton out there. They were just running free. You know, I mean, they weren't even having to get yards after the first contact or anything. You know, they were just running free. You know, they had their choice of places to run and how far they were going to get. So that's the thing, and that's kind of what I'm saying about Wyoming is what, until Utah State changes what their and it's not my opinion, it's not your opinion, it's not some dude's opinion on Twitter, until Utah State's offense scores some points, and this Saturday I think they're going to have to outscore Wyoming. I mean, usually I put the kind of the over-under, or the whatever you want to call it, first team to 30, first team to 31, 28, 30, 31, 33, 34, whatever. I think it's going to be even higher, probably in the 40s. Utah State's going to have to score on Saturday. I mean, they are missing Jontrell Rockmore. They are missing Jalen Davis. They are, they are missing, potentially could have a not 100% Anthony Williams. So this game on Saturday is one that could be a big one. I mean, obviously, if Utah State does come out and they can score some points and they can hang with Wyoming, then it's great. And I think they have the talent and everything in the world. They could, but have they shown it? Have they shown it yet this year? Have they shown it at all? A 4-quarter game. I mean, obviously, first half of Colorado State. You can say Weber State's Weber State. That doesn't count. First half of Arkansas State, maybe, but they got helped so much with turnovers and penalties that kind of, it wasn't like long drives or anything that they were converting against Arkansas State either. So I just don't know what to look at. I mean, based on I'm a pretty logical guy. You can call it my green personality coming out or whatever. But until they show me differently, until they do better, I have nothing to expect. I have nothing to prove. So I honestly think, I mean, the fans, right or wrong, I think they're starting to lose interest. I think some people are going to totally forget there's even a game on Saturday, not even watch it on ESPN too. So I don't know. I don't know. I can't blame the Aggie fans, but at the same time, I think a win against Wyoming could go a long way potentially if they can get this turned around. What is it? Wyoming, New Mexico, Nevada, and BYU, right?
That's correct.
See what happens the rest of the way. We're almost to we're to 39 minutes, so we got 6 more minutes. What else do you want to cover, Seth?
Well, recruiting's just been kind of,
yeah.
A few new offers have gone out, but it just they don't, you just don't see the movement like you do. I know a lot of people were freaking out because Wyoming's got like 10, 11 verbals or something like that, and whatnot. But, your seasons are going to be up and you're going to be down if a kid bases his recruitment off of your record in 1 year. That's kind of, and they're smart. Kids are smart. They do their research. They know, I never understood why kids commit, they should be committing to the school and what the school's going to offer them. Coaches come and go, obviously. Right. I mean, we've seen that with our offense and defensive coordinators. Seems like we have a different one every 6 months, so.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of the offers that they've handed out lately actually are or either mission kids or 2018 recruits, 2019 recruits. So, if right or wrong, the Aggies really stick to their board and they compare guys. So whether they're an in-state guy or whether they're Polynesian or California or Arizona or Florida, they're going to compare receivers to receivers. They're going to compare running backs to running backs, and they're going to say, well, this guy's our top guy, so we're going to offer him. Our second guy, we're going to offer him as well. But that third guy, even though he's state of Utah guy and it's a long shot that we'll get the other two guys, we're only going to offer those first two guys until they commit or tell us to go jump in a lake. So,
Yeah,
right
and
or
what people,
wrong, that's their philosophy, and that's Matt Wells' kind of conservative nature coming out and recruiting, in my opinion. I think conservative is probably a good explanation for Matt Wells in a lot of ways. Not saying it's a bad thing, but he's a pretty conservative play caller. He's a pretty conservative recruiter. He's not going to offer 250 kids. And I was even
like other
talking to a
schools.
high school coach the other day that said, "Yeah, Utah State should offer this kid." And I said, "Well, what?" He's like a 2019 kid or whatever, and he's like, "Yeah, they should absolutely offer him. They gotta offer him." And if he doesn't work out, they just don't sign him. I mean, he just told it how it is. He's like, well, if he doesn't work out, if something happens, if he doesn't keep improving, they're not locked in for forever by offering a kid early, and that's coming directly from his high school football coach. So it's one of those things that it's tough. I don't know.
Well, and
Obviously,
you
different schools
got
do it differently.
and with recruiting, it's a lot easier to offer receivers and like the specialty position guys than it is, defense and offensive linemen. They usually evaluate them a lot longer just because, I mean, yeah, you're going to have your 4-star, 5-star guys that are no brainers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the bigger guys, the linemen and the defensive line guys, they're not developed all the way when they're a junior. You know what I mean? So they're going to hold off on offering and watch them and watch them and watch them. They might not get offers until they're done with, they're not even playing. They're done with their senior year, and then the offers might come. But I really am going to be interested to see how they recruit the offensive line this year and what they're going to do. They got to get some more players like Amu. I think he's going to be really good. And he's going to get playing time.
Some of those
guys are going to get
good.
playing time next year. Yeah, they're going to get playing time next year, whether it's starting time or I'm going to guess they're going to both start with who we're losing. Sean Taylor, I expect him to get whatever he doesn't have figured out. And I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see Sean Taylor this week if they want to use Simonich back out on the outside with Brooksby being hurt. I don't know how serious that injury is, but they did move him back to the inside for a little bit, and then they put him back on the outside and brought in who was it? Was it KJ? Who'd they bring in at guard?
So Takiyahu got a little bit of time, and Uluave, but I think it was Uluave that was in there for a couple series.
And I meant to check to see if Taylor had a red shirt or if he hadn't redshirted in junior college. Maybe they're just trying to redshirt him so they have him for 2 more years. I don't know. I mean, they got to play now to win. You know what I mean? But all I know is somebody, I think it was on USU Fans, had a pretty good post I read the other day, and it was thinking about everything logically, and I know everybody's ticked at the coaching staff and, they want to see change there. Okay, so they wanted to see change there or whatnot, but why wouldn't a coach want to win? You know what I mean? I mean, it's his livelihood. He's feeding his family with his paycheck that he's getting. I mean, they got to win. So if there was changes that they believe that would help the team, they'd make them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?